I am the real daughter of the Watson family who was swapped. I sat in the coffee shop, holding a delicate small steel spoon in my hand, stirring the coffee in the ceramic cup unhurriedly. I looked at the well-dressed couple opposite the table, my eyes full of interest, and asked, "You say I'm your biological daughter. What evidence do you have?" I really didn't know that I wasn't the biological child of my parents at first, after all. Who would doubt that my extremely kind family has no blood relationship with me? My family is not poor, on the contrary, it's quite wealthy. My father is a top lawyer in the industry, my mother is a physics professor at a university, my elder brother is a well-known surgeon, my sister-in-law is a dancer, and my younger sister is a popular novelist among readers. With such a combination, we can't be poor at all. One day, I stared at the extra $50,000 in my card and fell into silence. "Sis, my manuscript fee has arrived. Let me treat you to a big meal. From my dear clingy little sister." I smiled and transferred $1 million back to her, with the message, "Buy some good shampoo and conditioner. I don't know who will go bald from staying up late to write every day." My little sister replied with a series of ellipses. "The relationship among my three siblings is extremely good. We have been spoiling each other since we were young. When I did something bad, my elder brother covered it up for me. When my younger sister failed the exam, I imitated my father's handwriting to sign for her. When my elder brother was bullied in high school, my younger sister and I directly grabbed some weapons and sent those people to the hospital. So, when they knew that I wasn't their real sister, they were extremely shocked. I was also dumbfounded. Damn it, what the hell is going on? The reason was that one day when I went to donate blood, I found out that I have type A blood, but both of my parents have type B blood. I was stunned. Anyone who has studied biology knows that it's impossible for a couple with type B blood to give birth to a child with type A blood. I refused to give up and went to my parents' room to take some of their hair for a DNA test. When the result came out, it was like a bolt from the blue. Then, nervously and apprehensively, I went to ask my father. I even came up with conspiracy theories like someone secretly swapped the children and that I was a substitute for a daughter who had died young. But my father said casually, "You were picked up by your mother and me next to an abandoned welfare home." Great. My father in the study was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. His deep eyes behind the lenses looked at me tenderly. He gracefully crossed his hands on his knees, even though he was in his 40s. His face was still breathtakingly handsome. Ordinarily, I would have swallowed hard because of how handsome my father was, but now, I was filled with overwhelming panic and helplessness. "Dad, my voice choked up. Even though I was already an adult and was doing well in society, I had always been attached to my gentle and outstanding parents. It was the same for my elder brother and younger sister. We had lamented more than once that we must have saved the galaxy in our past lives to be reborn into our mother's womb, but now, I found out that I wasn't their biological child. I was so sad that I almost cried. "Sarah," my father looked at me with a smile, "even if you're not our biological child, you're still on our household registration. You're still the daughter of your mother and me, Carl's sister, and Wendy's elder sister. If one day you find your biological parents, I don't want to." I became excited. "I won't recognize them." My father was helpless. He looked at me, opened his arms, and said gently, "Do you want a hug?" I threw myself into his arms, and tears streamed down my face. My father's arms were broad. There was a faint smell of sandalwood, just like when I was a child, giving me an unparalleled sense of security. My head felt heavy as my father's hand stroked my head, and his pleasant and deep voice sounded, "Sarah, no matter what decision you make, your mother and I will always support you." I prayed at that time that my biological parents would never find me. I even hoped that my biological parents had deliberately abandoned me or disliked me. In that way, I would have a reason to refuse them, since they gave me up in the first place. Why should they disrupt my peaceful life now and expect me to go back just by saying, "You're our biological daughter"? Why should I? I was so angry. As the saying goes, the things you least want to happen are the ones that are most likely to happen. Am I caught up in Murphy's Law? Now, on the surface, I was interested, but actually, I was feeling numb. I sat in the coffee shop, boredly stirring the coffee, holding my chin and looking at them. My biological parents. Oh, no, I should add the prefix, my wealthy biological parents, according to what they said. I summed it up, back then, because my biological father was too decisive and ruthless in business. He blocked the paths of many people, out of resentment and revenge. those people swapped me with an orphan. The style has been elevated. It wasn't the nanny who swapped the two children so that her own daughter could enjoy the benefits of being the real daughter. It was the fault of business rivals. It's really something. I rubbed the paternity test report with a 99% certainty and glanced at my biological father, his cold and handsome features, the superior lines of his face. His tall and straight nose, and his thin lips. He was sitting on the chair as if he were sitting on a throne, exuding silent elegance and nobility. However, the man who was so haughty and looked down on everything had a look of deep guilt when he looked at me. Well, I don't think I can bear it. My biological mother was a woman whose appearance was in no way inferior to my mother's. She had a delicate and small oval face, beautiful almond eyes that seemed to contain starlight, a smooth and perfect jawline, long black hair draped over her shoulders, and an expensive necklace around her neck. I was stunned because I also have an oval face, but my eyes are not the glistening almond eyes of my biological mother. Instead, they are the sharp phoenix eyes like my biological father's. My biological mother's eyes were red. She choked up as she spoke. Sarah, I know we're sorry for you. Can you give us a chance to make up for it? I suddenly asked with some interest. What about Helen? Helen was the girl who had taken my place for almost 20 years. If you don't like it, she will move out, my father said in a deep voice. My mother was taken aback. Then, she firmly and slowly nodded. I suddenly felt bored. TSK, how heartless. After all, they've been getting along for almost 20 years. Even if it's a dog, they should have developed some feelings for it, right? My father seemed to see something and said seriously. Sarah, I admit that it was my fault that your life was misaligned. Making such a decision is not because I'm heartless. In these 20 years, we gave her the best education, wealth, and status. All of this is because we thought she was our biological daughter. If there hadn't been this accident, she might have lived an ordinary life or struggled at the bottom of society. We raised her, and she has everything she has today. We think we've done our best, and we don't owe her anything. She's already an adult and should go out and make her own way. Moreover, there's no reason for us to wrong our biological daughter. He continued, we will find an opportunity to announce to the outside world that you are my biological daughter. In the end, I still didn't agree. Looking at the disappointed expressions of my biological parents, I hardened my heart, made some polite remarks, and left. When I got home, my younger sister was passionately reciting. Helen's eyes were full of tears, and her voice was filled with uncontrollable fear and helplessness. Dad, Mom, now that you've found my elder sister, do you not want me anymore? Mrs. Watson saw this and lovingly hugged her daughter in her arms, cooing softly, how could that be? Even if Sarah is back, you're still our daughter. Mom won't drive you away. Mr. Watson was beside them and gently said, she's just a vulgar girl, even if she's our biological daughter. She's not as good as Helen. Helen buried her face in Mrs. Watson's arms. A look of triumph flashed across her innocent face. So what if you're the biological daughter? Don't Mom and Dad love me the most? My younger sister waved her phone and said with a smile, Sis, how is the novel I wrote? Is it full of artistic conception? In response, I threw a pillow at her. My dear younger sister, who are you insinuating? My younger sister caught the pillow indifferently and marveled. Sis, they say that novels are based on life. I didn't believe it before, but it seems that those great writers have foresight. You're quite lucky to serve as novel material in person. I forced a smile and said, Little sister, do you want this good fortune? We pretended to be sisterly for a while. My younger sister asked enthusiastically, Sis, how did you feel after meeting your biological parents? I gave her a sideways glance and said, I'd rather be the biological daughter of Mom and Dad. Time can't be turned back. Can the mistakes be mended? I don't know. My younger sister said, Sis, don't be afraid. If they dare to force or hurt you, Dad won't let them get away with it. Dad is a lawyer. The Watson family is such a large group. Even if your biological father is powerful, there must be some problems. It's not certain who will win. I was speechless. Just because my father is gentle and indulgent towards his wife and children doesn't mean he's soft-hearted. On the contrary, in the legal world, there are stories about Mr. Watson being cold-blooded, decisive, and indifferent. At the same time, he has a wide network of contacts and knows a lot of the dirty secrets of the upper-class people. If someone wants to deal with my father, they have to think twice. In the evening, the whole family gathered, which was a rare occasion. My handsome and gentle father, my beautiful and reserved mother, my cold and abstinent elder brother, my unrestrained and graceful sister-in-law, and my mischievous younger sister, with me added, well, everyone is here. Now the whole family knows that I was adopted and that I'm the real daughter of the Watson family, a leading enterprise. It's really unbelievable. I looked completely dispirited. Sarah, what do you think? My sister-in-law's eyes sparkled with interest. Goodness, the plot of the real and fake daughter like in novels actually happened around me. It's amazing. I don't have any thoughts. I lazily poked at the fish in my bowl. They won't give up. My elder brother peeled the shrimp and put it in my sister-in-law's bowl, saying indifferently, the powerful head of the Watson family, how could he allow his own blood to be out there? As far as I know, the Watson family also has 2 sons, and they dote on their sister. After all, they've been getting along for 20 years. Will Sarah be bullied if she goes back? My mother asked worriedly. It's not certain who will bully whom, Mom. Have you forgotten that sister single-handedly sent 7 or 8 people who bullied brother to the hospital? My younger sister sneered. My parents were speechless. My elder brother and sister-in-law were speechless. I had no expression on my face and said, Wendy, my younger sister immediately knelt down and said, I was wrong. I should have said that sister heroically stepped in and saved brother from trouble. My elder brother, whose embarrassing incident was exposed, said, thank you so much. My younger sister said modestly, you're welcome. My elder brother was speechless. My father slowly picked up some food from my mother and listened quietly without joining our conversation. After dinner, just as I was about to use some means to investigate the Watson family, my father asked me to go to the study. I was confused and took the file bag that my father handed me. My father said, Sarah, this is the information about the Watson family. My eyes widened. My father really knows me. My father smiled and looked at me. It seems that you've made a decision. I hesitated for a moment and asked, Dad, I want to hear your opinion. My father thought for a while and replied softly, Sarah, emotionally, your mother and I don't want you to go back. You've been with us for more than 20 years. You've grown from a babbling child into a graceful young woman. Suddenly, someone wants to take you away on the grounds of blood relationship. We're really not happy about it. My father's voice calmed down, but rationally, you should go back. You're their biological daughter, the shares, the right of inheritance, and all the things that originally belonged to you in the Watson family. You don't have to give them away. Plus, because your biological parents feel guilty towards you, you'll get even more if you go back. He stroked my head again and said, the children of the Powell family have no reason to wrong themselves. After it came out that I wasn't their biological child, I started to calmly think about countermeasures. If my biological parents are from the ordinary working class or peasant class, and they didn't deliberately abandon me, and they feel guilty towards me and are nice to me, then, for the sake of the fact that they gave birth to me, I don't mind taking on the obligation to support them and let them enjoy their later years. If they are like vampires, greedy and hypocritical, and they covet my family's assets and threaten me on the grounds of being my biological parents and treat me like an ATM, then, sorry, I have hundreds of ways to make them disappear silently from this city. Of course, the premise of these 2 assumptions is that they can find me. For me, it would be the best if my biological parents never come looking for me, and until now, I didn't expect that my biological parents have such a powerful background. My biological father is the person in charge of the Watson family group in the Beast City. My biological mother is the young lady of the Smith family in the Beast City. The Watson family and the Smith family are both powerful aristocratic families in the Beast City, in the words of ordinary people. They are people that one can never reach in a lifetime. I clicked my tongue. My biological parents really fit the standard configuration of the male and female protagonists in a novel. My 2 cheap brothers are also very excellent. One graduated from MIT in the United States, and the other graduated from Q University, which is one of the top universities in China. Helen is still studying at Q University. I said, if I say I'm not their biological child, who would believe it? My younger sister was extremely speechless. Sarah, you and Helen are of the same age. You were admitted to Q University as the top science student in the province. Now you graduated a few years earlier than her. During your college years, you double majored in computer science and finance, and you've won many gold awards in various competitions. You've also won all kinds of school scholarships. There are 2 of your trophies placed on both sides of the TV in the living room. And the honor certificates in your room can't even fit in the box. What are you being so showy about here? I said, oh, do you know me so well? My younger sister said, What do you think? Until now, the junior students at Q University are still under your shadow. It's been so many years, and I can still hear about your legend at B University. I smiled faintly. My younger sister, you're overpraising me. My younger sister said, get lost. I dialed the phone number that I once wanted to let rot in the drawer. I'm willing to go back. I heard my calm voice. The woman on the other side burst into tears of joy. I hung up the phone. They said they would come to pick me up the day after tomorrow. I really sighed at their eagerness. The next day, I started packing my luggage. My mother helped me organize my things and admonished me, Sarah, when you go to your biological parents' place, don't treat yourself badly. If they bully you, fight back. If anything happens, your father and I will stand by you. If you really don't want to stay there, come back. Your father, mother, elder brother, and younger sister will always be waiting for you. As she spoke, my mother's eyes turned red. What kind of thing is this? I have such a good daughter, but they don't want you and now they want to take you back. I hugged my mother and patted her on the back to soothe her. Mom, I'm just going to take a look. I will definitely come back in a few days. I don't plan to stay there for too long. I looked at the suitcase. I didn't bring a lot of things, just a few sets of change of clothes, a laptop that I modified myself, and a few books. That's all. Late at night, I woke up suddenly. My second, cheap, brother is called Richard, right? Why does this name sound so familiar? He also graduated from Q University. Damn it. Could it be that there's someone with the same name when I was studying at Q University? I worked on a project with my classmates. There seemed to be a junior student named Richard who worked with us. Although he was a junior student, he was actually 2 years older than me. I expressionlessly found the group photo taken at Q University back then. I compared it with the photo in the information my father gave me. It's really him. Just thinking about how he earnestly called me senior sister back then makes me feel creepy. The result of feeling creepy was that I couldn't fall asleep. I sat in front of the mirror and skillfully used foundation to cover my dark circles and then put on some light makeup. As soon as I dragged my suitcase to the living room, I saw that the living room was full of people. My father, mother, elder brother, sister-in-law, and younger sister were all there. There were dark circles under my elder brother's eyes. It seemed that he rushed back from the hospital after his night shift. Mom, Dad, elder brother, sister-in-law, younger sister, I'm leaving. There were no unnecessary words. After all, I'm not going to never come back. My family members were silent and followed me to the door. Outside the door, a tall and graceful figure stood not far from my doorstep, and next to it was a Rolls-Royce. We met face to face. The young man's appearance was as snowy as jade, and his eyes were pitch black. He was extremely handsome. Oh, it's the junior student who came to pick me up, after not seeing him for a few years. The originally young and handsome boy has now become mature and steady. When he saw us coming out, he walked towards us. The young man stood still and greeted us politely. Uncle, Auntie, hello, I'm Richard, Sarah's second elder brother. I keenly saw my elder brother's fists slowly clench. I have no doubt that if possible, my elder brother wants to punch my second, cheap, brother directly. My sister-in-law immediately grabbed my elder brother's hand in return and smiled distantly and politely. Richard, don't be in such a hurry to claim kinship. Sarah hasn't recognized you yet. Richard smiled faintly and didn't say anything. Take good care of yourself. My elder brother finally said something. I will. I nodded. My sister-in-law gave me a gentle hug and said softly, Sarah, if you don't get used to it, come back. If someone bullies you, don't forget, you have the George family behind you. The George family is my sister-in-law's family of origin. And it's a powerful aristocratic family that is no less powerful than the Watson family. I was surprised. My sister-in-law is actually willing to use her family's connections for me. You know, she rarely directly relies on her family. My father's expression was no longer as gentle as when he looked at us. His dark eyes were bottomless. He was like standing in a courtroom, majestic, cold, and intimidating. I hope you take good care of her, otherwise she won't take a step into your Watson family again. Richard was neither humble nor pushy. We will, Uncle, look, with such family members, it would be strange if I wanted to leave. I waved goodbye to my family, put away my luggage, and got into Richard's car. At this time, my second, cheap, brother was no longer as calm as he was in front of my family. His expression was a bit stiff and unnatural. I smiled with a hint of mockery and said, Richard, should I call you second elder brother or junior student? I think he wants to die. What could be more ridiculous than a senior sister becoming a younger sister? If it were me, I would also be crash. Perhaps remembering the fear of being dominated by me when we worked on the project. After weighing the pros and cons, Richard finally called out with a look of sacrificing something important. "Senior sister Sarah, long time no see." I nodded in satisfaction. "Good boy, junior student." The driver looked at us in horror. He probably couldn't figure out why a proper kinship recognition scene has turned into a strong college style. I was like an elder who saw a young sapling growing well, full of kindness and admiration. "Junior student Richard." Back then Richard listened carefully and responded from time to time. Compared with the strange, stiff, and unnatural relationship of biological siblings, it's better to start from the familiar identities of senior sister and junior student. We hit it off and chatted freely about the past. A villa is always a standard configuration for a wealthy family. As soon as I entered, there was a fragrant garden. "Wow, it's so big." I also have several villas under my name, but I'm too lazy to move in, so they are just for show. It's warmer and more comfortable to live in an apartment with my father, mother, elder brother, sister-in-law, and younger sister. During this time, I saw the servants trimming the flowers or walking out of the villa. It doesn't match me, a good child who believes in self-reliance at all. Richard helped me drag the suitcase. I asked, "Are they all here today?" "Richard, yes." I raised my eyebrows. "Is your sister here too?" Richard nodded. "Yes, she is." As soon as I walked into the villa, I saw several people immediately stand up. I looked at them. The tall and handsome man was my biological father, the elegant and intellectual woman was my biological mother, and the handsome and indifferent young man who looked a lot like my biological father was probably my first, cheap, elder brother. I smiled faintly and greeted them indifferently. "Father, mother, elder brother, hello." After that, I walked towards the beautiful and cold girl in the light blue dress and slowly stretched out my hand. "Miss Helen, hello, I'm Sarah. Please take care of me." The girl was stunned for a moment and then shook my hand. This was the first time I really met Helen. She was as cold as the moon, as calm as a lake. Her long black hair draped over her shoulders. Her skin was as white as snow. Her eyes were clear but indifferent, and her red lips were as delicate as peach blossoms in March. Her temperament was elegant and noble. "She is a girl truly cultivated in a wealthy and noble family," I objectively commented. I originally thought that when she saw me, the real daughter, she would at least show a bit of jealousy or hatred, or be proud of occupying my identity for so many years. But no, the moment she looked at me, the calmness in her eyes was broken. I seemed to see little stars in her eyes, but they disappeared quickly and she returned to being calm and composed. I was confused. Did I see it wrong? "Sarah, hello, I'm Helen." The beautiful girl's voice was really nice. I was really lucky to be picked up by my father and mother. I didn't suffer any hardships, so I don't have any hostility towards this girl who occupied my identity. I'm just a bit unfamiliar with my biological family. I don't have any resentment, but I couldn't understand what she did next. I saw the girl take out a notebook and a pen from somewhere. The aloof goddess instantly came down from her pedestal and asked shyly, "Senior sister Sarah, can you sign for me?" My father, mother, and elder brother, who were originally thinking about how to mediate if there was a conflict between us, were also confused. I turned to look at Richard. "Is your sister crazy?" Richard touched his nose and whispered, "From Q University." I immediately understood. Well, she's another junior student and fan of mine. Damn it, there's something wrong with Q University. It's been so many years, and they're still using my name for promotion, and they didn't even give me the promotion fee. Although I was furious in my heart, in order to maintain my usual image of a kind and approachable senior sister, I had to smile and take the notebook and sign my name in a flamboyant manner. The girl took the notebook as if she had found a treasure. She looked like she wanted to enshrine it. I twitched the corners of my mouth. "There's really no need for this." At this time, my father spoke. "Bruce, help your sister move her luggage to her room." I knew that my father was giving my elder brother a chance to get to know me. Bruce nodded, took the luggage from my second elder brother's hand, and, as if afraid of scaring me, tried to squeeze out a friendly smile from his cold and handsome face. "Little sister Sarah, come with me." I nodded to my parents and followed him. My room was on the second floor. My elder brother is probably like my father, a person in a high position who doesn't smile easily, suddenly having a younger sister. He doesn't know how to get along with me. I also don't know what to say. We were silent all the way. when we opened the door to the room and he helped me put away my things, my elder brother finally said the first sentence, looking a bit nervous, "Little sister Sarah, see if there's anything inappropriate in the room." I looked around and was very satisfied. The room was decorated in blue and white, quiet and elegant. The light-colored curtains were drawn open, and the warm sunlight shone in. The bed was big and looked soft and comfortable. There was also a teddy bear doll just like the one in my home. Next to the bed was a large bookshelf. The left side of the middle was filled with books related to my major, and the right side had the comics and novels I like to read. On the upper layer was a transparent display cabinet, and it was filled with the peripherals of the novels I like and anime figurines. There was a computer on the desk, on the wall shelf. There were cups of cute and chubby succulents, full of vitality. "It's completely in the style I like," I said. "Thank you, it's very good, you've put a lot of thought into it." My elder brother heaved a sigh of relief. In the evening, the whole family got together for dinner. On the table, there were all the dishes I loved to eat. My mother nervously asked me if I had any dietary restrictions. I was speechless. "Since you've put so much thought into it, what dietary restrictions could I have?" Although the Watson family is a wealthy and noble family, there aren't too many rules. My father didn't neglect Helen because of me. He asked her about her studies and life. My mother told me to wear more clothes as it was getting cold and asked me if I was satisfied with the room. My second elder brother, Richard, wanted to talk to me, but he couldn't get a word in. He could only talk to my elder brother in a gloomy way, and my elder brother listened indifferently, nodding from time to time. I raised my eyebrows. The family atmosphere of the Watson family is really good. It's no worse than my own family. I thought there would be intrigues and tragedies of siblings killing each other in this wealthy family. It seems I thought too much. A few days later, the Watson family officially announced to the outside world that I was their real daughter. For a moment, there was an uproar in the outside world. However, at this time, I was feeling hopeless while helping Helen with the code. Yes, Helen is a student majoring in computer science at Q University, and the teacher assigned a task to write a library management system in Java. That's right. This isn't a group assignment, it's an individual one. That's right, it's that cruel, controller, model, view. The MVC structure is used well. You used the table component. "Isn't it better to use the database?" I asked. The cold and beautiful girl blushed. "I haven't learned it yet." "Fine." I helped her change a few lines of code, and the program that had been giving errors finally ran successfully. Helen was overjoyed. "Thank you, senior sister Sarah." She hates changing code the most. I was a bit curious. "Am I really famous at school?" Helen nodded like a chick pecking at rice. "Yes. Many people in our school admire you. Your name is at the top of the school's honor roll. Even my genius second elder brother can't compare." "All right. I didn't know I was that amazing." So, I got along harmoniously with the members of the Watson family. The members of the Watson family provided me with a car, houses in various places, membership cards for various high-end places, and a black card with an unlimited credit limit. They told me that if I had anything, I should tell my father or elder brother, and they would solve it. It seems that they want to make up for what I missed all these years. TSK, it doesn't seem like a loss to be back in the Watson family. After living there for a while, I went back home for a few days, had a meal with my parents, and played around with my younger sister and chatted and laughed with my sister-in-law. Just when I thought things had settled down, "What are you doing?" When I passed by B University today, I saw a man and a woman hugging in the small forest in front of me. Alas. Young people are full of passion, I understand. Suddenly, I felt something was wrong. Why do these two people's figures look so familiar? I squinted my eyes and took a look. "What are you doing?" My voice trembled, and I desperately hoped I was seeing things. The man and the woman seemed to hear the familiar voice and trembled. They turned around. I took a deep breath, and my fingers couldn't help but tremble. Aren't they my second, cheap, elder brother and my younger sister? Looking at their red lips glistening with moisture and their messy collars, what else could I not understand? I just felt dizzy. My mind was filled with these three words. "It's over." I can't even imagine the consequences when Dad finds out about this. The Powell family only has 2 girls, and the whole family dotes on them like the apple of their eyes. Now, not only was one of them taken away, but the other one was also stolen. You can't just keep taking from the same sheep. Now the Watson family has not only taken from us but also shaved us clean. It's over. It's all over. Damn it, isn't this a disaster for me? Just then, a boy passed by while watching a video and playing the sound loudly. I was speechless. Hey, this background music is quite fitting. Richard was silent for a moment and stood in front of my younger sister. He said, Sarah, I interrupted him coldly. Shut up. Wendy, you speak. My younger sister hesitated for a moment. Sis. I like Richard. Me, oh, then the Richard you like will have his legs broken by Dad. Little sister Sarah, I like Wendy, and I will treat her well for the rest of my life, Richard said seriously. Then let my younger sister take care of you, a cripple. My tone was extremely harsh. The two of them fell silent and were as obedient as quails in front of me. For a moment, I felt like the queen mother who separated the cowherd and the weaver girl. I took a deep breath and said, I'll keep this a secret for you for now. Whether you can be together depends on my dad. My younger sister had a gloomy face. Obviously, getting past Dad is the most difficult part. In the end, both families found out about this. Helen was shocked. Probably even she didn't expect that her second elder brother was so bold. My elder brother was silent. I guess he was speechless. My elder brother Carl's face turned dark. He was wiping his scalpel with a wet wipe. Probably thinking about how to kill and dismember someone. Dad had his usual gentle and calm expression, and his smile seemed even more radiant than usual, but those who know him well know that this is a sign that he is extremely angry. The two families decided to meet in a restaurant. When everyone arrived, Dad gracefully and slowly rolled up his sleeves to his elbows, with a smile on his face. He looked at my father and said unhurriedly, the son's debt should be repaid by the father. Isn't that reasonable? Everyone was silent. I was stunned. Dad has always been a handsome and gentle person on the surface, and very few things can make him angry. Most of the time, he stays behind the scenes and silently makes people half dead. But looking at the situation now, Dad is actually going to beat someone himself. It seems that he is really furious. I was shivering. Even though the person being beaten is my biological father, I don't dare to plead for mercy. Richard looked at this handsome man with a momentum no less than my father's, feeling a bit uneasy. Uncle Powell, this has nothing to do with my dad. Dad laughed. His voice was pleasant to hear, but it seemed to carry a murderous intent. Children, don't interrupt when the elders are talking. Mr. Watson, please. After saying that, he left directly. There was no emotion on my father's face, and he followed. At this time, my elder brother directly grabbed Richard's collar and dragged him out. Yes, it was a literal drag. Don't be in a hurry. We should have a friendly chat. When my younger sister saw this, she wanted to follow. I stopped her. What's the difference between you following and adding fuel to the fire? My younger sister shouted anxiously. Brother, don't go too far. I don't know if my elder brother is going too far, but I'm sure my second elder brother is not feeling well. Don't forget that my elder brother is a medical student. A woman stabbed a man 13 times. But she avoided all the vital parts. The man suffered great trauma, but it was determined to be a minor injury. I still remember this news vividly. I sighed. In the end, I heard that my father was punched twice. My second, cheap, elder brother was much worse off. When he came back, his face was slightly pale, and cold sweat was breaking out on his forehead. He was unsteady on his feet. This story tells us, don't mess with a doctor. My younger sister hurriedly went to support him. He leaned into my younger sister's arms, looking like a little white flower that had been severely damaged, with tears in the corners of his eyes. His expression was both forbearing and painful. He only said one word, "It hurts." My younger sister hurriedly coaxed her poor little boyfriend. I was shocked. Why didn't I realize that my second elder brother is so good at acting? Look, my elder brother's fists are clenched again. Time passed in chaos. A few years later, my elder brother and second elder brother got married at the same time. My elder brother's bride was the girl who had been his childhood sweetheart, a lively and smiling girl. My second elder brother's bride was naturally my younger sister. As the music of the wedding march sounded, the two pairs of newlyweds made their appearance. Both my elder brother and second elder brother were wearing black suits. My elder brother, who had always had a cold and indifferent face, had a gentle smile on his face. My second elder brother was as gentle as jade and smiled brightly, just like a prince charming in a fairy tale. The two brides were wearing white wedding dresses, looking beautiful and elegant. They each held their bride's arms and slowly walked towards the rostrum. There were strong applause and cheers from both sides. The church bells rang slowly. The pastor asked, "Do you want this lady to be your wife and enter into a marriage contract with her, whether in sickness or health, in poverty or wealth? Will you love her, take care of her, respect her, accept her, and be faithful to her until the end of your life?" my elder brother and second elder brother said in unison. I do. The pastor continued to ask. Do you want this gentleman to be your husband and enter into a marriage contract with him, whether in sickness or health, in poverty or wealth? Will you love him, take care of him, respect him, accept him, and be faithful to him until the end of your life? The two brides said, I do. They exchanged rings. The pastor announced, according to the authority given to me by the Holy Bible, I declare you husband and wife. What God has joined together, let no one separate. Colorful ribbons flew in the sky, and the two pairs of newlyweds kissed, the red and white petals intertwined, looking romantic and beautiful. I heard Helen say enviously, I also want a wedding like this. Her boyfriend kissed her on the cheek and chuckled, Baby, don't just talk. When are we going to get married? Helen snorted, We'll talk about it later. Mom had tears in the corners of her eyes and looked at the two pairs of newlyweds with satisfaction. Dad gently put his arm around Mom's shoulders. My sister-in-law was pregnant and leaned into my elder brother's arms. She sighed, Look, they are so happy. My elder brother carefully protected her abdomen and smiled. We will also be happy forever. Although my father and mother didn't show any intimate actions, there was an air of love between them. I squinted my eyes and looked at the clear blue sky. The glittering ribbons were falling, and the sun was shining brightly. The spring scenery was just right. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, let's continue to see another similar story. I'm the fake daughter. After the real daughter was found, I voluntarily stepped down. My adoptive parents said they could continue to raise me. I said, You've got it the wrong way. You're counting on me to support you in your old age, right? My eldest brother said, You'll inherit everything of the James family, including your two good-for-nothing brothers. My second elder brother said, The business school is no place for a person. Save your brother. The real daughter said, Me too, you can inherit me as well. Thank you, I'm the fake daughter, and I'm not surprised by this at all. After all, I'm different from my eldest brother and second elder brother. They're thinking about how to spend money, while I'm all about making money. I helped my classmates with their homework and collected bottles in the class to sell for money. People in the class laughed at me. Some parents asked Mr. James with a mocking tone if our family had gone bankrupt, but Mr. James didn't think there was a problem at all. Instead, he was very satisfied and often put his arm around my shoulder and praised me, saying, A capable father begets a capable daughter. He was not satisfied with my two brothers, fortunately. I can be my eldest brother Zoe's wingman, and I can help my second elder brother Jack with his homework. In short, the relationship among us siblings is quite harmonious. Mr. James often sighed, wishing that my two brothers could be half as reliable as me. My eldest brother and second elder brother didn't think there was a problem at all. Instead, they were very proud. Our sister will inherit all the property of our family, including us, her good-for-nothing brothers. So when the news came that I was the fake daughter, my two brothers were the first to break down. Each of them hugged one of my legs and cried, saying, Nina can't leave. What will happen to us two if Nina leaves? I don't want to go to the business school. I want to keep playing the piano. My second elder brother also had tears in his eyes. I want to keep racing. Tiffany, who had just been recognized as the real daughter, blushed and stood there awkwardly, not knowing what to do. I struggled to drag the two of them to Tiffany and then pulled their arms and made them hug Tiffany's leg. Tiffany, I'm entrusting these two brothers to you. Seeing this scene, Mrs. James cried so hard that she almost broke down. Among the people in this family, I'm most afraid of her tears. Nina, she rushed up and grabbed my arm. The James family can afford to raise one more child. I held back my tears. Mom, Tiffany is 18 years old. She's been an orphan for 10 years. If we hadn't found out that we were switched by accident, we wouldn't know how much more suffering she would have to endure. I'm sorry to her. I've occupied her wonderful life for 18 years. If I continue to stay in the James family, I'll feel guilty. My brothers looked at Tiffany with a hint of hostility. I held the two of them with one hand and Tiffany with the other, and led the three of them to the mirror. Look at yourselves. You three look so alike. Stop this exclusionary behavior. Put away your petty thoughts and don't let Mom, Dad, and your real sister down. Hearing me say this, Jack couldn't hold back first. Nina, what will happen to your brother if you leave? Fortunately, he wasn't so out of his mind as to blurt out that I wrote his homework. Zoe let out a long sigh and sobbed like a little wife. Jack, let Nina go. She's not our real sister. She won't take care of us anymore. Goodness, it's as if I betrayed the two of them. Tiffany saw this scene and took a step back with a cold face. I understand. I'm the redundant one in this family. I'll leave. I'm used to being an orphan anyway. Don't act like this in front of me. Before the people of the James family could react, I rushed out first. Don't be like this, Tiffany. I'm sorry to you. We should have returned to our proper positions long ago. After saying that, I turned around and went upstairs to my room. Not giving my two brothers a chance to stop me, I dragged the suitcase out of the room. There were only a few clothes without brands and daily toiletries in it. Besides these, there's a bank card. There's the money I saved from doing small businesses all these years. If you, Mom and Dad, have any objections, I can leave this card behind. Mr. James's eyes turned red. That little money isn't enough. Dad will transfer $2 million to you. Tiffany snorted when I was wandering outside. I didn't even have 200 in my pocket. Mr. James didn't say anything. Seeing that my two brothers were about to step in, I immediately stopped them. It's okay, don't worry, I have hands and feet and can earn money by myself. After saying that, I knelt on the ground and solemnly kowtowed to Mr. and Mrs. James, thanking them for raising me all these years. Mom and Dad, if I have to beg on the street in the future, I definitely won't come to the James family, but if I become successful, I will definitely support you in your old age. Tiffany snorted. Anyone can say nice words. You're just being hypocritical. I understand that she has a grudge against me. If I were in her position, I would have the same attitude. So I didn't stay any longer and turned around and left the James family's villa. I saved a lot of money over the years, almost $300,000. But this money has to cover my college tuition and living expenses for the next 4 years and also serve as the startup capital for my business, so I don't dare to waste a penny. After moving out of the James family, I rented a shared room that only costs 800 yuan a month. The conditions are a bit harsh, but since I'll be able to move into the school dormitory in a few months, I don't care about the environment. Although it's the holiday, I didn't idle around. While thinking about what else I can do, I also looked for daily paid jobs online. I even uploaded videos of my daily life on a certain video platform. My online name is Reincarnation. I turned out to be the fake daughter. I don't know if filming my daily life can make money, but I instinctively feel that there might be a business opportunity in it. I washed dishes, delivered food, delivered couriered, and of course, handed out flyers. But I think handing out flyers is the slowest way to make money, so I don't like it very much. But if there are no other jobs, I can do this job as well. I originally thought that Jack would be the first to come to me. After all, my second elder brother is the least mentally stable. But I didn't expect that the one who came to me was Harry, my ex-fiancé. Harry stood in front of me like an abandoned child. You're my fiancé. How can you sleep with another man? I kept apologizing to the man who was 185 meters tall, had a crew cut, and looked full of aggression. Sorry, I'm disturbing you. Harry kept babbling. I simply raised my hand to cover his mouth and pulled him back to my room. What are you doing? I said angrily. What are you doing making a scene in my home? Harry pouted and seemed about to cry. You're being mean to me. You're being mean to me because of a random man. I was speechless. What random man? He's my shared roommate. He opened his big, bright eyes. Shared roommate. What does that mean? I patiently explained to him. Shared roommate means that we rent a room together. Harry was stunned. You can rent a house like that? I rolled my eyes. This kid is really like the person who said, why don't they eat minced meat? Who cares how I rent the house? What does it have to do with you? Harry couldn't hold back anymore. He covered his face and started pretending to cry. You ask what it has to do with me. I'm your fiancé. I raised my hand to stop his performance. I was switched with Tiffany. She's your fiancé. Harry took out a card from his bag. I don't care. I only recognize you, whether you're the real daughter or the fake daughter. I love you, Nina. In fact, I always regarded Harry as my younger brother. Before, since I thought I was the daughter of the James family and was supported by Mr. and Mrs. James, I naturally felt that I needed to contribute to the family. It didn't matter if I was with Harry whom I didn't love. What's more, the Yuan family is more powerful than the James family. It's not a loss to be with him, but now that I'm no longer a member of the James family, I can't just take advantage of this marriage and benefit from both the James family and the Yuan family. After finally coaxing Harry away, when I was physically and mentally exhausted, I smelled a delicious fragrance. It came from the communal kitchen, if I'm not wrong. It should be braised pork ribs. I tiptoed to the kitchen. I found the handsome guy with a crew cut was skillfully stir-frying the pork ribs in the pot with his thick, veiny arms. I was so greedy, I was really craving it. My cooking skills are not just bad, they're inedible. After moving out of the James family, I haven't had a proper home-cooked meal. I stuck out my little head and flattered him. Handsome guy, can I discuss something with you? He glanced at me. Dennis, handsome Dennis. Can you give me a few pieces of the pork ribs? Seeing his eyes turn cold, I immediately added, I can buy them from you. Hearing that there's money involved, Dennis's expression softened. He picked out 2 pieces that weren't very good and threw them into my bowl. 10 yuan. Although the price is a bit high, the pork ribs really smell good. I'm bending over for the delicious food, not for his good looks. After that day, Dennis and I had an unwritten tacit understanding. I bought the ingredients. And he cooked, but I can't always eat the food he cooked. Only then did I know that he just graduated from college and has a younger brother who is sick and in the hospital. It can be said that his younger brother is relying on money to stay alive, since he has to take care of his younger brother. He can't find a 9-to-5 job. No wonder he works even harder than me to make money. After I just drove Harry away that day, I found that Dennis was not feeling well, at this time usually at noon. He would go out for a part-time job early and wouldn't be lying in the room until now. I knocked on the door for a long time, but there was no response. I directly pushed the door open and went in. I found Dennis lying on the bed with his upper body bare. He was covered in bruises and was so delirious from the fever that he started talking nonsense. I quickly called an ambulance and sent him to the hospital. This brat. The first thing he did when he woke up was to question me why I sent him to the hospital. I angrily scolded him. If I hadn't called ambulance, no one would know if you died in the rental house. He lay on the bed, as if all his strength had been drained, and murmured, how much will this cost? When you're short of money, you don't even dare to get sick. How did you get these injuries? I asked. The doctor said he was beaten up. Dennis sneered. There was a bastard who was drunk and didn't like the look of me, so he beat me up. His friend gave me 20,000 yuan to settle it privately. I frowned. I couldn't bring myself to ask why he didn't call the police. After all, 20,000 yuan is enough for his younger brother to stay in the hospital for 2 months. I originally thought that since I moved out of the James family, I should completely cut off contact with the James family, but after much hesitation, I still dialed Mia's number. As soon as I dialed, a roar like that of a slaughtered pig came from the other end. Nina, are you crazy? You're drawing a clear line with me too. Mia is the daughter of Star Film and Television and my best friend. I smiled awkwardly. Times have changed. I'm not the biological daughter of the James family. I'm afraid we won't have anything in common. Hearing me say this, Mia hung up the phone, just as I got back to the door of the rental house. A branded bag was thrown straight at me. Harry was angry and anxious. Mia, are you crazy? Why are you hitting Nina? Mia looked at me and tried hard not to let her tears fall. I'm hitting this heartless bastard. What class distinctions? Do good friends care about that? When I moved out of the James family, I didn't cry. When I was woken up by a mouse running around on me while sleeping in the rental house, I didn't cry. But seeing Mia like this, my eyes couldn't help but turn red. She came up and grabbed my hand. Come with me, this place is uninhabited. The James family doesn't want you, but I do. Who said the James family doesn't want her? This familiar voice was my eldest brother Zoe. Even if mom and dad don't want me, they won't not want Nina. This voice was my second elder brother. Mia rolled her eyes. I thought it was someone. It's the people from the James family. Zoe came to pull my hand. Nina, come back with eldest brother. Eldest brother is about to hold a solo concert and has reserved the best seat for you. Jack pushed Mia aside. Get out of the way. Don't try to take Nina away. Family affection can't be cut off. Do you understand? Mia pushed Jack. What do you mean by, can't be cut off? Why didn't you think about family affection when you made Nina suffer here? Just as Jack was about to retort, Harry said firmly, my fiancé will definitely come back to the Yuan family with me. The scene was in chaos, and the 4 of them from 3 factions were fighting. I quickly stepped forward to stop them. Eldest brother, second elder brother, Tiffany is your real sister. Zoe pinched Jack and made him squeeze out a few tears. We've been following you for 18 years. Now you say there's another sister. Have you ever considered our feelings? Zoe continued. We're also very good to Tiffany. Can't you both be our sisters? I let out a long sigh. If I go back to the James family, I'll surely take away your attention from Tiffany. She'll be unhappy. She's already endured so much suffering in my place for so many years. One can't be so selfish. Just then, Mia spoke up in a timely manner. I won't be unhappy. You're the only close girlfriend I have. no matter what your surname is. Mia's round face and her blinking big eyes made me unable to say anything heartless. In fact, I knew that she would stand by me unconditionally and even use the power of the Collins family to help me. That's why I cut off contact with her. I want to stand on my own 2 feet in this world. Of course, after I have the ability, I will definitely coax her back. Harry's eyes lit up, with an expression of, choose me, choose me. I stood in front of him and said word by word, Harry, I don't want to delay you. I really don't like you. The previous engagement was all for the James family. Now the shackles are gone. You're a really good person and deserve someone who loves you wholeheartedly. Harry cried, and he cried pitifully. My eldest brother and second elder brother couldn't stand it and started to comfort him. I guessed that they would take Harry to a bar and continue to persuade him. Only Mia was left in the rental house. She still had that innocent and stubborn look. Nina, if you don't contact me, I'll really fall out with you. I hugged her arm and acted coquettishly. I know, Miss Mia, it's my fault. I'll take the punishment. After coaxing her, I took out Dennis's photo and showed it to her. What do you think of this guy? Mia's eyes widened instantly. Wow, where did you find him? His looks, figure, and temperament are all on point. I raised my eyebrows towards the door. He's my shared roommate. Mia had an expression of, I understand everything. No wonder you don't want to leave. With such a handsome guy, I wouldn't leave either. Indeed, Dennis is very attractive both in looks and figure. Otherwise, I wouldn't introduce him to Mia. But to be honest, it's his cooking skills that really have me hooked. After Mia left, I carried 2 cans of beer and knocked on Dennis's door. What's up? I sat on the table opposite his bed on my own. I found you a job. I don't know if you're willing to take it. Does it make money? As expected of Dennis. He grasped the key point at once. A modeling job, by the way. We can see if you have acting talent. If you do, we can sign you as an actor. Dennis's eyes lit up and he took the beer from my hand. Thanks. When is the interview? The morning after tomorrow. I'll accompany you to go shopping tomorrow and buy you 2 nice outfits. Dennis shook his head. I made an appointment with Peter to go to the construction site. I have some clothes that I haven't worn yet. There's no need to buy new ones. I'm really grateful that you found this opportunity for me. When I heard Dennis's words, my heart stirred. Obviously, he was about to have a different life. Even if he didn't become famous, with Star's ability to make stars and coupled with Dennis's good looks, it wouldn't be a problem for him to become a small-time star on the 5th or 6th tier. But he still insisted on finishing the job he had agreed on with others, and it was a dirty and tiring job at the construction site. People who couldn't bear the hardship definitely couldn't do it. He really lived up to his name, struggling tenaciously like a blazing fire. After drinking 3 cans of beer, I was feeling a bit tipsy. Dennis's face was also a bit flushed. Seeing that the atmosphere was just right, I asked, why did you seem so down just now? When my eldest brother and the others were here, I saw from the crack of the door that Dennis had come back. He looked into my room and then lowered his head and went back to his own room. Dennis smiled self-deprecatingly. I envy you. Envy me? I pointed at myself. What's there to envy? I was switched at birth, enjoyed someone else's life, and deserved to be hated. In the end, I haven't even met my biological parents. What's there to envy? At least there are people who like you and care about you. They were even fighting over you. I looked at Dennis steadily. In my eyes, he had always been a warrior who charged for his younger brother. He was brave and fearless, with thorns all over him. But at this moment, I saw his vulnerability, and his strong shell had shattered. Mom and Dad remarried respectively, and they didn't want me and my younger brother. They thought we were a burden. I worked part-time and studied to support my younger brother. Who would have thought that my younger brother would get sick again? I can't not treat his illness. He's my only family member, but I'm so tired. I suddenly understood how he felt when he saw my eldest brother and the others surrounding me. It was like a stray cat seeing a domestic cat being held in someone's palm and feeling envious. Dennis wrapped his arms around his legs and buried his face in his knees. I heard him sobbing softly. I sat next to him and patted his shoulder. It's okay. Everything is getting better, isn't it? Probably due to the effect of the alcohol, Dennis's tears fell one after another. His vulnerability made me lose control too. I'm only 18, being told that the family I've loved for half my life isn't my real family and that I'm actually an orphan. How could I not be afraid and wronged? In a daze, all I remembered was that we hugged each other and cried. Life is full of coincidences. When I dragged my luggage to report to school, I happened to see the people from the James family sending Tiffany to school. Mrs. James kept admonishing, "Get along well with your roommates. If you don't like the food, you can ask Aunt Wong to send it. If you're unhappy about something, tell Mom." Mr. James wiped Mrs. James's tears beside her. Zoe and Jack were carrying lots of bags. Both of them had their 4 hands occupied. Tiffany stood among them wearing a beautiful princess dress, as proud as a swan, yes. Even if the James family didn't have money, the love they gave their children was enough to last a lifetime. I couldn't quite describe how I felt when I saw this scene. I felt lost, wronged, and even envious, but I don't regret leaving the James family. That was originally Tiffany's life. Suddenly, it went dark in front of my eyes, and Dennis's voice sounded from behind. "If it makes you feel bad, don't look." I grabbed his arm and took down his hand that was shielding me. If I can't even bear this scene, how can I stand on my own? Dennis hooked the corners of his mouth and somehow produced a lollipop and stuffed it into my mouth. "Eat something sweet. It will make you feel better." I pretended to be relaxed. "Was this lollipop already eaten by you?" Dennis played around with me. "Yes, I've eaten it. Does it matter if I feel better in our situation?" I asked. Dennis shrugged. "I don't know about others. But no matter if you feel good or not, you, Nina, can pull yourself together and take on the whole world." Dennis looked into the distance, and I stared at his profile. "In fact, I've always known that we're the same kind of people. We're like wild grass. Even if we only have one breath left, we can spread all over the prairie." Dennis invited me to have a nice meal, after I settled into the dormitory. As soon as I walked out of the dormitory door, I was stopped by a familiar figure. It was Mr. James. I pretended to be relaxed and stepped forward to call him Dad. There were a few white hairs on Mr. James's head, and there were some new wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. When he saw me, he wanted to warmly hug me, but his arm froze in midair and then dropped. "Do you have enough money?" "Dad transferred money to your card, but you haven't touched it." "Don't be polite to Dad. Spend it if you need it." I affectionately took his arm. "Dad, I have enough money. Don't worry about me." Seeing that I wasn't distant from him, the man turned his face away and wiped his eyes. I pretended not to see the glimmers and the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes. "Your brothers told me that you've been having a hard time outside. The shared room is even smaller than Aunt Wong's room. You were doted on by Mom and Dad. How can Dad bear to see you like this?" My nose twitched, but I forced myself to comfort him. "Dad, I'm grown up. I should be independent. Just think of it as me starting my own life and being able to handle things on my own." When he heard me say this, Mr. James finally couldn't hold back and sobbed softly twice. "I saw you just now. When we were surrounding Tiffany, you were standing not far away watching." Dad felt so bad, but if Dad speaks up, your mom will be even more devastated. She has just come out of the sadness of you leaving home. She has doubled her love for you and her guilt towards Tiffany and given it all to Tiffany. Dad doesn't dare to let her see you. Dad is sorry for you. I patted Mr. James's obviously thinner body. "Dad, it's okay. I occupied someone else's place for so long. I'm the one who's sorry for you." Mr. James interrupted me. "Mom and Dad are sorry for you, baby. When Tiffany gets used to it, come home, okay? Mom and Dad will always be your parents." I didn't give Mr. James an answer. After all, I'm not Tiffany. I can't forgive the person who stole her life on her behalf. Seeing that I was a bit down, Dennis, who had planned to take me to eat fried rice at a roadside stall, gritted his teeth and took me to a Sichuan restaurant. He ordered 4 dishes, which was quite rare. "Did you win the lottery?" I asked. Dennis put a finger to his lips and made a gesture to keep quiet. Then, like magic, he took out a small cake from behind. I was pleasantly surprised. "You really won the lottery, right? You even bought me a small cake," Dennis said softly. "Meeting you is like winning the lottery for me." People came and went in the Sichuan restaurant, and there were clinking sounds. I didn't hear what Dennis said clearly and tilted my head. "What did you say?" He dipped his finger in the small cake and touched my nose. "It's nothing, eat quickly." Before we separated, Dennis gave me a key. "What's this?" I asked. Although he hasn't started honing his acting skills yet, he had received a few advertisements last vacation, and his income situation was much better than before. In order to continue bringing food to his younger brother, he rented a house not far from our school. He also transferred his younger brother to a better city hospital near our school. He said that as a thank you, I could stay in his rental house for free at any time. I said firmly, "I definitely won't stay in your house. I've already planned to work part-time in the cafeteria." But as usual, my harsh words were soon proven wrong. A month later, I slunk into Dennis's rental house. It wasn't that I had a bad relationship with my roommate, I just found a more profitable business opportunity than working in the cafeteria. I made homemade yogurt fruit salad and offered free delivery on campus. I also collected cards. If you bought 8 servings, you would get 1 free. The more you bought, the cheaper it was. My junior schoolmates from the same department got a bigger discount. Making fruit salad required a studio, and other places needed rent. Naturally, I set my sights on Dennis's free rental house. Dennis did a good job and charged less. He was also very busy at work and basically only went back to the rental house a few times a month. This gave me plenty of room to play. His only request was to ask me to visit his younger brother Dante occasionally. Dennis had an 8 o'clock flight in the morning and was going to shoot on location. He got up early and cooked 3 days worth of food for me and Dante. If it weren't for the shelf life of the food and the fact that the refrigerator couldn't hold any more, I suspected he could cook enough for a month. This was the first time I met Dante. He was a boy sitting in a wheelchair in the ward. Hearing the commotion at the door, Dante turned his head full of anticipation. When he found out it wasn't Dennis, he turned away indifferently. Dante, I called him. He turned back curiously. Who are you? I lifted the food in my hand. My name is Nina. Your brother asked me to bring you food. When he heard my name, Dante's eyes lit up instantly. Sister-in-law, huh? Dante ate the food voraciously and introduced the origin of the sister-in-law to me. I know my brother best. He's never mentioned any other girls. Sister-in-law, you're the only one. Did your brother tell you I'm your sister-in-law? Dante's expression was very rich. That tight-lipped guy wouldn't tell me. Unless you two are getting married tomorrow, he won't tell me today. He leaned towards me. I've been with him the longest. Don't I know what he's thinking? I can even tell what kind of fart he's going to let out just by the way he sticks out his butt. His words were rough but reasonable, but they were really too rough. He actually told me to eat quickly that day. Of course, I didn't understand. Usually, he wants me to chew slowly until the next day. I was attracted by Dante's expressive words. Why did he ask you to eat quickly? He said in disbelief. He actually said he was going home to cook for you. I said, can't he cook our meals together? Guess what my brother said? That guy who can't keep a secret said he didn't want you to eat food that wasn't fresh. Dante said righteously, as things stand, if you're not my sister-in-law, it can only be that my brother is no good. As he spoke, he secretly glanced at me. I found it funny and patted his shoulder. Then your brother really is no good. Dante was in a panic. Does my brother have a one-sided love for you? The price was fair, and the fruits were fresh. The business of the fruit salad was more prosperous than I expected. I was really too busy making fruit salad and delivering it. After Dennis came back from his business trip, I discussed with him. I asked the doctor. Dante's condition has stabilized a lot, and he can go out and move around often. He looked at me with surprise in his eyes. That's great, but I'm busy recently. Can I hire you to take Dante out for a walk? I'll pay you. I slapped the table and pretended to be sad. What's our relationship? Do you really need to pay me? Dennis's ears turned red, and he stammered. He even scratched his head to hide the corners of his mouth that were rising. What's our relationship? I stood up and patted his shoulder across the table. We're comrades in arms in the revolution. Ah. Dennis's voice was a bit disappointed, so I pressed on. I planned to ask Dante to help me deliver the fruit salad. These are all orders on campus, and the distance isn't far. I asked the doctor, and he can definitely handle this job. Although I'm noble and won't take money for accompanying him, this is a different matter. I'll give him 1 yuan for each delivery. What do you think? Dennis blinked. How can he deliver the goods in a wheelchair? I shrugged. He can just deliver in the wheelchair. He just needs to deliver to the door of the dormitory building. He doesn't need to go upstairs. Seeing that Dennis still had some concerns, I showed him a video of Dante pushing the wheelchair by himself, with his agile movements and sturdy figure. Wait, Dennis paused the video. What is he chasing? He's in such a hurry. Oh, a pretty girl. In the end, after my persistent persuasion, Dennis agreed to my request. The delivery guy Dante officially started working. He grinned and thanked me. Sister-in-law, thank you. You don't treat me like a disabled person. I was already used to his address, as was Dennis. Watching me tie a box of fruit salad to Dante's head, Dennis gave a speechless smile. Yes, she doesn't treat you like a disabled person. I think she doesn't even treat you like a human being. As my business became more and more prosperous, Dante's condition also got better and better. After the final exams ended, I calculated and found that I had earned nearly 100,000 yuan. To celebrate, I specially bought snowflake beef, fine spare ribs, and live seafood that I usually wouldn't be willing to buy. I carried a big lobster, and it seemed reluctant to leave. Flapping its claws vigorously, it splashed water all over my face, and I spat twice, which made Dennis smile widely. "You're laughing at me." I stepped forward and questioned him. Dennis deftly dealt with the spare ribs in his hand and begged for mercy, saying, "How dare I laugh at our boss Nina?" His tone was full of sarcasm. "You're being sarcastic." I angrily stepped forward and tickled his ticklish spots. Dennis laughed and dodged. When he dodged, I pounced and almost fell onto the chopping board. Fortunately, he was quick-eyed and grabbed my hand, turning me around. I had nowhere to put my hands, so I put them on his chest. "Well, I'm very satisfied with his pectoral muscles." Our eyes met, and there was an ambiguous atmosphere in the air. My heart was beating fast, as happy as when I earned money for the first time when I was a child. The vague affection that I had always felt turned into a clear thought when our eyes met. I liked Dennis. Now that I had clarified my feelings, I decided to kiss him first. After all, his lips were red and looked very kissable. I stood on tiptoe and leaned in. Dennis didn't dodge. Just as our lips were about to meet, the door suddenly opened. "When will the meal be ready?" When Dante saw our ambiguous posture, he immediately closed his eyes and skillfully maneuvered his wheelchair to turn around and leave. I also heard him whispering, "Hurry up and push the wheelchair." The ambiguous atmosphere was interrupted by Dante, and Dennis and I awkwardly went about our business in the kitchen. It wasn't until we had 2 glasses of wine that the awkwardness dissipated a bit. The doctor said that if Dante didn't have any obvious discomfort, he could stay at home, but to create opportunities for the two of us, he insisted on going back to the doctor's office. Dennis was worried and pushed Dante in the wheelchair to send him back. I was alone at home. I took a few big sips of wine, thinking that I would win Dennis over while I was drunk. Not long after, I heard the sound of the combination lock being pressed. Almost instinctively, I walked to the door and waited. When the door opened, Dennis stood outside wearing a black coat. The cold wind blew past him, and his unique smell assaulted my nose. My mind went blank, and I stood there at a loss. After Dennis entered the house and closed the door, he directly pulled me into his arms. At first, I felt the coolness from outside, and then the warmth of the man. "Why are you hugging me?" I murmured. In fact, I knew the answer, but I wanted him to say it. Dennis buried his head in my neck, took a deep sniff of my scent, and said in a muffled voice, "Nina, without you, my brother and I might have died a long time ago." I originally thought he would confess his love, and I was waiting happily. Unexpectedly, the words he said were so heavy. "Nina, not only did you introduce me to Star and give me the opportunity to earn money to support Dante, but also your appearance rekindled my hope for life. You broke into my life like a little sun. Your strong vitality and ambition made me realize that life doesn't have to be like a stagnant pool, and there's no need to complain about the unfairness I've experienced." He gently rubbed my head with his palm. "It's not your fault that you occupied Tiffany's life. You did gain some benefits, but it wasn't what you wanted. You endured everything with the strength in your heart. You're much stronger than me, and you've inspired me. I've liked you for a long time. I know you like me too, right?" His voice was full of allure, and I couldn't help but nod. Feeling my response, Dennis excitedly picked me up and spun me around. He didn't stop until my already dizzy head felt even worse. Then he hugged me even tighter, as if a drowning person clutching at a piece of driftwood. He hugged me for a long time and didn't want to let go. He also confirmed several times if I was just nodding randomly because I was drunk. After getting my affirmation over and over again, he continued to hug me and smiled like a child. Can you stop hugging me?" Hearing my words, Dennis immediately looked up at me with pleading eyes. If I had to describe that look, it was probably like a puppy afraid of being abandoned by its owner. When he looked at me like that, my heart melted, but I really had something more important to do. I poked his forehead with my finger and smiled brightly, saying, "Now that we're together, aren't you going to kiss me later?" When I thought about it, what I said was really unnecessary. If I had known that he would kiss me until my lips were almost swollen, I wouldn't have said that. After being with Dennis, not much changed, except that Dante called me sister-in-law even more openly. I asked him to tell Mia about it, in case it would affect his work. Mia immediately came to my house. And of course, Harry came with her. Harry grabbed my hand and cried, "Nina, how could you really betray me? Nina, you can't be with someone else." When he got emotional, he even wanted to blow his nose on my sleeve, but I stopped him quickly. I looked at Mia and questioned her with my eyes. Why did you bring this guy here? Mia looked innocent. He was by my side when you sent me a message. Harry was still crying. I couldn't stand it anymore. So I waved my hand and asked Dante to take Harry to deliver the fruit salad. He was quite happy. After all, Dante was excellent at coaxing people. When they left the house, Mia moved closer to me. I knew she was about to gossip. Nina, do you know that Tiffany is also at your school? Thinking of the scene when I saw their family that day, I frowned slightly. Yes, I've seen her at school. Mia raised her voice. Do you know what major she's studying? I shook my head. I deliberately didn't inquire about anything related to the James family because I was afraid that I would be too nostalgic for them. Mia smiled. The three of them are indeed siblings. The eldest likes playing the piano, the second likes racing, and the third they found back likes painting. It's really arts and sports are inseparable. None of them can inherit the family business. Uncle told my dad privately that he's so worried that a lot of his hair has turned white. Seeing that my expression was not right, Mia tried to make up for what she said. I didn't mean that. What I meant was that with such a big family business, there's no one to inherit it. The James family can't do without you. The James family. I showed my talent for business at a young age, and Mr. James was very satisfied with me. So when he found out that my eldest brother and second brother had no intention of inheriting the family business, he let them develop their hobbies. He never thought that his daughter would be switched by the hospital's carelessness. At that time, the James family hadn't become prosperous yet. By chance, a bus had a very serious accident, and there were two pregnant women on the bus. The obstetrics department of the whole hospital was busy treating the two pregnant women, and they muddled up me and Tiffany. Not long after I was born, the James family started to become prosperous. When I was young, Mr. James often held me on his lap and kissed my cheek, saying that I was the little lucky star of the James family. Seeing that I was feeling down, Mia changed the subject. Nina, why don't you come to my family's company after you graduate? My dad has been coveting you for a long time. Your boyfriend is doing very well. He's going to play the second male lead in a modern drama. I'll give you his contract. I let out a long sigh, trying to exhale the dull pain in my heart. No. I plan to start my own business. Mia bumped me with her shoulder. No wonder you've been saving money. You're saving the startup capital. Don't be polite. I'll be your angel investor. I deliberately teased her. You know I have talent and you want to latch on. Mia immediately replied. You found out. No, I said seriously. The James family started their business by making high-end furniture. I originally planned to do the same. After all, I was influenced by it since I was a child. But recently, I have other plans. What plans? Mia leaned in. You, the little business genius. Give me some guidance. It's not really guidance. I just think it's. You remember the videos I shot for fun? I didn't expect to have hundreds of thousands of fans. Mia looked at me with an admiring expression as if to say, you can do anything. Several merchants have approached me and asked me to advertise for them. There's profit in this. I think if we can recruit more people like me who shoot videos, it should be a viable path. Mia patted my shoulder. If you say it's viable, it must be. I believe in your business sense. Dennis said I was a little son, but I think Mia is the real little son. If I were a boy or had a different sexual orientation, I would definitely fall in love with her. She saw through my naked gaze, and she tossed her head proudly. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't love me too much. We laughed and played around on the sofa. As it got late, after Mia repeatedly told me that she would celebrate my birthday in a few days, she reluctantly left my house. Probably because she was afraid that I wouldn't get used to not celebrating my birthday in the James family for the first time. Mia prepared a very grand birthday party for me. She even invited a few little celebrities to attend. There were also several male models. When they saw me, they bowed and said, "Happy birthday, sister, may you be safe and prosperous." I was so scared that I took 2 steps back. Mia thought I was being a killjoy and whispered in my ear, "Why did you bring Dennis and Dante here?" I didn't care. They should come to my birthday. She looked at me with a look of disappointment. I specially ordered these male models. I thought they could keep you company. I poked her head with my finger. What are you thinking? She retorted. What are you thinking? I just want them to have a drink with you. It's all innocent. We were bickering when Zoe and Jack, dressed up, came in happily with gifts. When they saw me, they took 3 steps at a time and stuffed the gifts into my hands, happily wishing me a happy birthday. I was surprised. Eldest brother. Second brother, why are you here? Shouldn't you be celebrating Tiffany's birthday? Before they could answer, the door of the venue opened again, and Mr. And Mrs. James appeared in front of me. It's not true that I wasn't excited, although we don't have a blood relationship. In my heart, they are my parents. Without any warning, tears welled up in my eyes. All the grievances and fears I had felt during this time came flooding back. I was like a child and just wanted to throw myself into my parents' arms and cry my heart out. Mrs. James hugged me. Our baby has really suffered. After crying, I came to my senses. Mom, Dad, eldest brother. Second brother, since you're all here with me, what about Tiffany? What can we do? She's here too. With a familiar voice, Tiffany appeared in front of me. I felt a bit guilty. I always felt sorry for her. Tiffany, Mom and Dad are just here to give me a gift. They'll go back with you to celebrate your birthday soon. As I said that, I winked at my parents, but they just smiled at each other and ignored my little gesture. Tiffany pouted. It seems I'm not welcome here. Mia came out to smooth things over. Of course you're welcome. Since you're both here, you can celebrate your birthdays together. You were born on the same day anyway. I really didn't understand what was going on, so I muddled along and blew out the candles with Tiffany. After blowing out the candles, Tiffany kept following me. Seeing that she obviously had something to say to me, I walked to a corner and asked, "Did I do something that made you unhappy?" Tiffany crossed her arms. "I'm indeed not satisfied. You're much better than me in business, but fortunately, I'm not bad either. I have some achievements in art." I didn't understand what she was getting at, so I waited for her to continue. Mom and Dad tested the three of us to see who could inherit the family business, and what was the result? Zoe lost the company seal, and Jack broke a very important document on his first day at the company. "What about you?" I asked. Tiffany looked embarrassed and avoided my gaze, looking like she didn't want to answer. Jack's voice sounded. Dad gave her 1,000,000 yuan and asked her to invest in something. The good news is that she didn't lose it all. The bad news is that there's only 10,000 yuan left. I couldn't help laughing. When Tiffany glared at me, I said guiltily, "Sorry, I couldn't help it." Jack grabbed my hand. "Nina, come home quickly. I really don't want to go to that business school. Dad said that if you don't come back, he'll send bodyguards to force me to go." Zoe appeared out of nowhere and grabbed my other hand. "Nina, you really need to inherit the family property, and you're two good-for-nothing brothers too." I looked at Tiffany, afraid that she would be unhappy. Unexpectedly, she hugged me. "Me too, you can inherit me as well." "Thank you." I opened my mouth wide and asked with my eyes, "What's going on?" Jack laughed. "Did you think I was the only one who would be forced to study economics?" Tiffany hugged me tightly. "Nina, I really want to keep painting." Looking at the four of us being so close, Mr. and Mrs. James were very pleased. The six of us hugged tightly. Mr. James said, "Great, someone will inherit my family business." Mrs. James said, "Great, my two precious daughters have finally made up." Zoe said, "Great, I can keep playing the piano." Jack said, "Great, I don't have to study. I'm going to drive like crazy for 8 laps." Tiffany said, "Great, I can finally paint in peace and don't have to get up early to memorize that damn English." Me, how did things develop in a direction I never expected? After the birthday party, the members of the James family repeatedly told me to go home and live there, and then they left, although Harry was still sniffling, in order to let me have some quality time with Dennis. He sent Dante back to the hospital together with Mia. I scanned the venue round after round, but I didn't see Dennis. When I walked out of the venue, I found him standing in the yard looking at a pond. The light shone on the sparkling water and was reflected in his melancholy eyes. The cold air hit, and his nose was frozen red. He looked extremely vulnerable. I stepped forward and hugged him. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Why are you standing here in the cold?" Dennis's voice was a bit hoarse. "It's nothing. I feel that this can make my mind clearer." I keenly sensed that something was wrong with his mood. I grabbed his coat and made him face me. "Why are you unhappy?" He pretended to be relaxed and let out a long sigh. "It's your birthday. How could I be unhappy? You're talking nonsense. You're clearly unhappy." After I kept asking, Dennis lowered his eyes and said, "It's my problem, seeing you surrounded by so many people, being needed by so many people, and about to go back to the James family. I feel worried about losing you." Dennis was abandoned by his parents when he was very young, because he was taking care of Dante. He was often looked down upon. His experience made him, once he decided to stick to someone, hold on to that person like a life-saving straw, wishing to merge with that person and never part. I grabbed his collar and bent down to look into his eyes from below. "Dennis, you know what kind of person I am, right?" Dennis nodded. "Excellent, hardworking, and ambitious." I snuggled into his arms, letting him feel my body temperature. Dennis, my heart is firm. Since I've chosen you, it will be for a lifetime. Dennis took the opportunity to hug my waist. I understand. You're so good that I have nothing to say. Even if you don't go back to the James family, you can carve out a vast world on your own. It's my problem. I'm always afraid that I'm not good enough for you. I smiled and teased him. Then you'd better hone your acting skills and bring back an Best Actor trophy for me. Dennis hugged me even tighter and rubbed his chin against my head. Yes, my president. Extra chapter. I accidentally found that Mia was getting along very closely with Harry, and there were also some romantic rumors between her and my second brother. I asked her who she really liked. She asked me. Can't I love both of them? I'm just making a mistake that all women in the world might make. Then she married my eldest brother. I really didn't expect the story to develop like this. Tiffany smiled and took the potato chips from my hand. I'm willing to call you sister. What's so hard for you to accept Mia as our eldest sister-in-law? Me, I became an elder sister by my own strength. Tiffany nodded. Yes. You held an art exhibition for me. You are the elder sister. I put my arm around her shoulder. It's also because you really have some skills. Otherwise, this art exhibition couldn't have been held. Tiffany agreed. That's why our parents are lucky. We looked at each other and smiled. Regarding the matter of Dennis becoming an Best Actor, I swear I was just saying it at that time. I just didn't expect that Dennis really brought back an Best Actor trophy for me, and there was more than one. Because of this, the stock prices of Star Film and Television and the James Family Group soared. Dennis, okay, I've prepared my ID card. Let's go and get married. It's so sudden. It's not sudden. Let's go and get married. Dante cooperated silently beside us. Sister-in-law, please agree to him. He's been waiting for this day for a long time. If you don't agree to him, he'll keep nagging. I secretly thought to myself. I remember that Dennis's persona in the entertainment industry is the aloof and noble flower. Dennis tugged at my sleeve again. Shall we get married? I was amused by his cute act. Okay, let's get married. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.